Hi, I wanted to welcome you to the very first video for So Darn Crafty. I wanted to do this video as kind of an introduction to me, and my husband had a really great idea to give you guys a little bit about my backstory. So I'm going to do that in a series of a couple of vlog posts. So this is going to be the first of many. I'm going to try really hard not to say I say that a lot. But I have a list of questions that he's asked me that would be interested, I think, to you guys. And then also, of course, if you guys have any questions, I want you to email me right here. My email address is jentandrews@icloud.com. I would love to hear from you guys. And see, there we go again. I would love to hear from you guys to see what you guys want to know about me and my journey into being a local business person and being a work from home mom. So I'm going to look up what today's question was again. So today's question was, why did you start making soap to begin with? And I kind of want to do a little bit of a backstory. So this one's going to be a little bit longer than normal. But my backstory is we lived in Michigan. I lived in Michigan for 15 years. I met my husband there. We got married there. We had kids there. We adopted our youngest there. And it was an incredible place to live, but I did not like the winters. And I wanted to move closer to where I grew up, which was in Georgia. Fast forward again 15 years, we were given the opportunity to be able to move. Everything fell into place, and we moved to South Carolina, and we love it here in Greenville. But I left a really good job, and I was working part-time, and it was very flexible, and I was able to actually take my son with me to work. So that was a great benefit, and I couldn't really find anything like that here. I looked a little bit, but we were living in temporary housing, so I didn't really have the ability to start looking for work. So I am still currently selling origami owl jewelry, and I wanted to build my business, work from home, do in-home parties, do Facebook parties. And the market here, it's not really a huge direct sale market here. I have a couple girlfriends through a couple different organizations, through a couple different churches, and through a MOPS group, and there just wasn't really a big market for at-home parties. It's just not a avenue that I found. I had postcards, I did trainings, I spent months researching and implementing like thousands of ideas, it felt like, and I was doing something different each week. I was meeting people each week. I was creating a newsletter. I was doing all the right steps. It just did not end up in results. So we fast forward 6 months of doing that. I got some great sales. I met some great people. It just wasn't doing what my goal was, which was to have at least 3 parties a month, if not a party a week, in someone's home or Facebook party in addition to that. So I had to come up with a new plan. So I thought of, what can I do from home with my son that would be interested, that I would want to do and not get burnt out on, and that would also be a way for me to make a little bit of money to pay for vacations and stuff like that. So my original idea was a cookie business. I love making cookies. I love eating cookies. I'm not really a cake person, but cookies are my go-to. So I looked into that. I did research into that, and honestly, it was a little bit too intimidating. You have to be licensed here in South Carolina. You have to go through inspections. You have to have separate kitchens, separate storage area, and I didn't feel the need that I was able to do that in a timely manner, and honestly, it kind of intimidated me and scared me off a little bit. So I started researching more ideas, and I started crocheting. You're okay. So I started crocheting and getting into building my Stampin' Up! Business, which I still do, by the way, as well. I'm very, very crafty. I like to be busy. I don't like to be bored. I can't just sit and watch TV. My fingers have to be doing something. So I'm like fidgeting here while I'm doing this video. It's kind of funny. But I started doing research, and I started doing stuff that's creative and that's interesting, and we were at the mall, and I had thought about making soap. It had crossed my mind a couple different times. I kept coming back to it, and finally we ran into someone at the mall, and she made soap. So I looked at her stuff, and I felt it was something that could be duplicated, improved on, done a little bit better. I feel like it's something that I can grow with and something that I can evolve, and it can get craftier, not just basic plain scent block, plain color. Her stuff smelled amazing. Whoops, sorry about that. Her stuff smelled amazing and the presentation was nice, but you couldn't really see any designs. I didn't really see the artwork, the wow factor that made me want to buy a bar of soap. So I wanted to buy a bar of soap, but I didn't really see any that I liked enough to buy. So I'm like, well, what can I do and to add on to that? So I started, again, back to research. I researched this for a month. I dedicated notebooks. I filled up a spiraled notebook, just writing down notes, going back through them. I went note-taking crazy. I watched YouTube videos. I researched product places to buy the supplies, everything. And then finally it came to starting my first batch of soap. So I did a small order through a company that had a kit, and I loved this kit because everything was included in this kit. So I was like, great, this is what I want to do. So I ordered the kit, and it took a couple days to get here, and when it got here, I busted it open. I bought the supplies that I needed to be able to do it, and I made my first bar of soap, and I fell in love. It was so much fun. I like being able to have control with the items that you put in it, the way you're able to decorate it and color it. I don't want any plain Jane bars of soap, and obviously my first one was very plain Jane. I honestly probably won't even sell it. It was just a learning experience for me. So I will probably have lavender soap forever because this is what the kit was. It was a lavender essential oil. So since then, I've been now soap making for 2 weeks. I've formulated and played with it enough to where I've found a YouTube user who has an amazing recipe that I kind of duplicated and added onto a little bit. I changed it up just a hair, but just to make it my own and what I want to do for my brand. So that was why I chose soap, how it evolved into it. And then another question that I kind of want to add into this real quick is my store name on Etsy is So Darn Crafty. My hashtag on my Instagram post is So Darn Crafty. And the way I came up with that is I was crocheting and I was posting a lot of I crocheted, I think, 7 blankets in a month. I was hooked. I was into it. I spent hours doing it. I watched TV. I watched my son. I played with him on the floor, and I'm crocheting while he's playing. I just did nothing but crocheting for the whole month of half of December and half of January. While I'm watching YouTube videos, I'm crocheting, and I was posting all these videos or all these photos on Instagram of all the different stuff I was making. And one of my friends from Michigan, who actually was with 31, said, "You're just so darn crafty." And I was trying to think of a name and and I couldn't really think of anything cool. I didn't want it to be soapy. I didn't want it to be crochet. I didn't want it to be card making. I kind of wanted to cover all of it. And when I saw that, I was like, thank you, Lisa, because I am now so darn crafty. So it's kind of what I've been, so I stole that. I borrowed her idea and used it as my business name. So this blog channel that you're watching this video on is So Darn Crafty. But my blog is still going to be Stamping with Jen, only because I don't want to host 2 blogs. I did that before and it was very time consuming, so I want to dedicate it to one blog. So this blog will have, if you're watching it through the blog, there'll be on the side it'll be a tag, and so all of my So Darn Crafty videos will be tagged as So Darn Crafty, and all my Stampin' Up videos will be tagged as cards or Stamping Up or things like that, to kind of make organizing my blog a little bit easier. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you have any questions about my soap making journey, I will post more videos about that as the weeks progress. I'll try to do one vlog, which is a video blog post, once a week. And then if you have, again, any questions, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you have to ask or what you want to hear. So you can email me at gentyandrews@icloud.com. I look so forward to hearing from you guys, and happy crafting, you guys.